All right, so welcome back, Python Pioneers, and this is the last video for uh, introduction to lists in Python. There's still going to be another one following up here in a minute for tuple, but this is the last one for list. So picking right back up where we left off, we have just one more thing to cover. So we talked about methods, right? We introduced the idea of methods, but I wanted to give you more of a rundown on some of the methods that are available inside of lists that you should be aware of. Now, this isn't an exhaustive list, but this is some of the most common list methods. So let's say we have this list. We've been using insert to add an item. And when you want to add an item to the end of a list, all you use is append. So we say mylist.append, and we can add whatever value we want. You know, if we wanted to add a string like test, and just print out my list as usual so we can see what it looks like. And when we run that, bear with me, my computer is running slow. There we go. So test appended right to the end of our list. Perfect. Okay. You can do that with any value. So append, we're going to add a comment, add a value to the end of a list. Okay, so that's append. Insert we already looked at, but for the sake of being complete, insert a value at a specified index. So for that, we just say mylist.insert, and we put the index we want to insert at. So if we want to insert at the very beginning, we type 0 because we start at 0, and then we can insert a value and say new value, whatever. Or we could insert a number here if we want, like 23. And if we do that, now 23 is at the front of the list. Okay. Remember also we have negative indexing, and there's that weird caveat that we ran into where when you insert at the end of a list, it actually doesn't make it the last item because whatever is in the current place you're inserting at, that gets shifted to the right. So interesting little nuance there. Comment these out just so we don't start having, it's easy to see what's supposed to happen next. Remove. So we can remove based on value, which is pretty cool. So what if we want to remove an item, remove a item based on value? We could say my list remove, and we just type in the value we want to remove. It will only remove the first value, the first instance of that value. So if I say 242 is in here twice, and I say mylist.remove, when I run this program, 242 is still at the end. It only removes the first value it finds. But you could have a while loop if you wanted to, and as long as you keep finding new ones, you keep removing. You could do something like that if you wanted to, but remove removes the value. Now what happens if the value doesn't exist? What do we get? Value error. X not in list. What do we do to catch errors, right? So we just use that try. And we already know that if you look at the error, it is a value error. So whatever comes before the colon, we just add that, except value error. And we could print out, not found or something. And this is how you could do it in a while loop without breaking your program. So it's like, hey, I tried to remove 100, ran into an error, we caught it, and just printed not found instead. Okay? So that's remove. Another cool one. I'm going to get rid of the except here, just to clean up. What about index? So earlier I wanted to throw this in, but I thought it should just be in a separate video, so I didn't use it in one of our other programs. But what if we have a value and want to know what index that value is at? So again, we're going to use 242 because it shows up in our list twice. If I say my list index and I look for the index of 242, then it will actually tell me, let me just actually print that so you can see what it does. It will tell me the index of the first instance of that value. So it should print out 1. And it does. Oop, got a little crazy there. Okay, so it prints out the first instance of that value. Pretty cool. You know, so if I type in 188, it'll tell me 0 because that's the index of 188. And remember, you can have random values in here. So if I say, well, where's test? It tells me, oh, test is at the second index. They don't have to all be the same value. So that's index. Find the index of a value, right? That's what we did there. And then sort, that's a cool one. Now for sort, we do need all the same value, but we can do something pretty cool. So let's make that 150 or something. And then make this 243, so they're all different. And then if we say my list sort, oh, whoa, why I typed out list again. So my list dot sort will actually rearrange the list in place. So because it's passed by reference, so we don't even have to assign it to anything, and the list is sorted by order. If you wanted to do reversed, you could come down here and say help. This probably isn't going to work. My list sort. Hey, it actually found it. Cool. I don't use help that much, but it actually did tell us the right thing. So what I was trying to find is the help on sort, and it tells us. And the only reason that worked is because I'd already run my program, so my list was defined in the interactive shell. So running help on my list.sort, it knows what function I'm talking about or what method I'm talking about. And reverse is a flag that I can pass. By default, it is false. So if I don't do anything, reverse is false. But if I say reverse equals true, then it's going to sort in reverse order. So larger numbers first. That sort, you can use it as long as all of the values in your list are the same. You can use it on characters as well. The only thing you have to keep in mind is if you look up the ASCII chart, ASCII, it sorts based on ASCII values. It's alphabetical order is what the book calls it. And essentially, you know, it's just you have to pay attention because uppercase numbers are smaller in the ASCII value. So when you sort from lowest to largest, which is the default for sort, capitalized characters come first. So just something to know about. And then reverse is pretty cool. So if we say my list reverse, I think I typed that right. My list reverse. Yeah. So it just reverses your list for you. So instead of being in this order, it turns it around and starts from the back. Pretty cool. And you know, if you come down, you notice we're printing later. So my list has actually been changed in all these cases, right? So, okay. So those are some of the common methods you might want to use on a list. And actually that covers all the basic ones. So hope this was helpful. Play around with it, see what you think. And in the next video, we're going to talk about tuples. Thanks.